It was once a bustling seaside resort attracting day trippers and holidaymakers from right around the UK. But by the 1990s, Margate was heading into decline. Shops and businesses were closing down and unemployment high. However, thanks to a major regeneration programme, the coastal town is now hoping for a return to its heyday. Many has been finding out how the tide is beginning to turn for Margate for the last in our series of Britain Beside the Sea.
Margate is a seaside town having a renaissance. And it's not just something in the sea air. This is what £52 million of funding looks like. Some of it from a government fund to revive coastal towns.
This is certainly the place for thrills, so...
Historically, Margate was always a mecca for holidaymakers, a place where British families let their hair down. Back in this decade, and the people here told me Margate very much needed that makeover. After having a miserable time with the rise of low-cost airlines to faraway places, people ended up giving Margate a miss.
Wow, even watching is quite enough for me.
In the golden years, Britain's oldest theme park, Dreamland, was the hub of the town. But in 2005, the dream was over. After falling into disrepair, the fair closed. Now, after a community campaign to save it, the gamble has paid off. It reopens next year. We met the woman who will manage its return.
Dreamland is referred to time and time again as the heartbeat of Margate. So when it closed, there was a really significant knock-on effect right through the town and the region. With Dreamland opening next year, we'll be creating hundreds of jobs.
Nowadays, this seaside town looks like it's borrowed cafe culture from our European friends. One local councillor told me, though, it was a rebrand Margate desperately needed. In 2011, it had more closed-down shops than anywhere else in the country.
There's a niche market down here now. Everyone is buying retro. The sort of clothes that I wore in the 50s and 60s, young people are buying up very quickly.
A man who knows all about that is Martin Weavers. He set up his vintage shop 5 years ago, but says it's not always good to be beside the seaside.
My eye's catching lots of fantastic frocks in here, but is it all good news on the vintage market?
It's not all good news. We have got a housing problem here, we've got an overspill from London, but on the plus sides, as you can see around here, there are a lot of businesses opening up.
And then there is the C word, culture of course, making the most of its connections with the painter Turner, whose seascapes were inspired by Margate. In 2011, the Turner Gallery here opened. Locals told me after years of gloom, a 19th century painters brought in the cash and a different customer to this seaside town. Minnie Stevenson, 5 News.
Well, from one seaside town on the up to another, raking in the visitors, people have been flocking to Folkestone Beach in Kent after finding out that £10,000 worth of gold